Good morning and welcome to my talk on ICT and its implementation in the classroom. This morning I just want to share a few points on the effectiveness of implementing ICT in the 21st century. Henry Ford, many years ago, supposedly said that if I had have asked the people what they wanted, they would have asked for faster horses. Now, it's debatable whether Henry Ford actually said this or not. He possibly did, but whether Henry Ford, the creator of Ford Motor Vehicles, said this or not doesn't take away from the power of what was said. Maybe somebody else did say that. However, it does make you think a little bit about innovation. And I mean, if you try and make up the latest technology, it's actually really difficult to picture in your head. If we were to create the next flying device, we would probably pull all sorts of other devices together and create this one thing. However, Henry Ford had the ability to create something completely different from a horse. In the classroom, it's incredible what ICT can achieve. And it's similar to this in the way that ICT not only has the ability to grow our knowledge, however, ICT can actually grow itself again. We can use research through ICT, information communication technology, to then further the development of itself. For example, we don't just have laptops now, we have iPads as well. And even before iPads, there are iPhones. I suppose the order would be computer to laptop or notebook, however you want to say it. Then you've got, I think, iPhone and then iPad, and there's all different shapes and sizes, and this is just one form of ICT. Now, within this form of ICT, I guess they found out and researched how to develop more ICT. There's apps like Skype, there's plenty of apps, but that's one app that allows you to talk to somebody on the other side of the world, which is amazing. So does Viber. So does FaceTime, which you can use off your phone these days. And it's incredible what the world of ICT can do. Now, if we can grab this, harness it, and use it in the classroom, I think that students will be well equipped to develop things in this world that we haven't even heard of. Just as Henry Ford did all those years ago. It's quite exciting when we can use ICT in the classroom. Peter Beamish, in his lecture not too long ago, spoke about three keys to effective learning. One being grabbing the student's attention. So this is from a teacher's perspective. So to grab students' attention. The next one was to arouse the students. So to motivate them. How can we motivate students? The third one was bringing meaning to what we are learning. Which is so important with us, I think, especially this generation. It's so important that we can bring the topic or the subject and make that relevant for the young people today. Otherwise, we lose interest, lose interest in the lesson. We may have a beautiful lesson planned out, we grab their attention, we motivate them, but then they kind of leave without meaning, and therefore we've lost the whole point of capturing their attention and keeping them motivated. The meaning is so imperative. And so what I want to talk to you today very briefly about is within these three keys can ICT be implemented and help us as teachers make these three keys a reality within our teaching world. How does ICT, the implementation of ICT, help us achieve gaining students' attention, arousing and motivating students, and thirdly, creating meaning and bringing the subject to life? So how does that happen? Well, first of all, one form of ICT, which are video clips of YouTube or Vimeo or DVDs you can put into laptops. These things are incredible at capturing students' attention. You can kick off the class without saying a word. Hit play, video comes up, and the student's attention can be grabbed just like that. Whether it's a trailer of a movie or a cartoon or some motivational clip you find on YouTube or Vimeo, it can literally grab the student's attention. You can walk in the room, turn the lights off, students please sit down, hit the video, and away you go. It's incredible how often students sit and settle simply when a video is playing. There was a study that said that 70% of people are visual learners. Now, whether that statistic is true or not, it is true that there are people who learn visually, as well as people who learn audibly and kinesthetically as well. However, we need to try and cater for all of these needs as much as we can in the classroom and out of it. And when we play video through the use of ICT, where we're not just using our audible teaching, however, we're teaching visually as well. And it captures students' attention. Now, I still understand, and I know that everybody listening will be able to understand that, yeah, there's some students that will still be disruptive. I feel it's actually quite easily managed if you could walk over, whisper in their ear, excuse me, look at the video. It's actually not too hard to keep them quiet. You could just stand there behind them as they watch, or send them out, whatever you do. Most of the class will predominantly be watching, and it captures their attention. You can use that to link back into your lesson later on. It's very attention grabbing. If you mention to your class that, hey, we're going to a computer lab to do this or this, there's generally an excitement about using technology straight away. Students' attention can be grabbed when the bell goes after recess. It's like, oh, awesome, we're in the computer lab this lesson. We're doing this, this, and this using ICT. Some private schools actually use iPads. It's amazing. Teachers use them to mark roles. They use their phones to mark roles. All sorts of uses with iPads. And even in the junior school, in classrooms, they use iPads at Belmont Christian College, which is a college I work at as a chaplain. I see it. They use iPads, and it's amazing. And for a young person to go in there and have access to all these different applications on the device is incredible as to how much they can learn through this. There is an app called Bubbly that is like a brainstorming app which you can use with in cooperative learning, and you can brainstorm as well as other people, and you can all connect up and use this app. That's just one example of so many different ways we can use technology. iPads actually cater for a few different senses. It's not just your seeing, it's not just your listening, but it's actually your touching as well. It communicates with all of our senses, and we can touch and engage and do different things. It's very engaging, and actually it motivates students to want to learn. This is amazing. This is different. I'm not just on the horse again, but I'm now driving a car. This is something different. So we're taking students from riding horses in the old horse and cart into vehicular devices such as cars. That's what we're doing, bringing ICT in the classroom, and it greatly produces arousal and motivates students. Whether you're in a computer lab or using iPads, or students have laptops in the classroom, whatever way it is, whether you've got a projector, which is using ICT and showing videos and clips and all sorts of different things, or a smart board, it motivates students rather than getting a whiteboard marker, talking the whole lesson, drawing the board and having them copy notes. Not as motivating. How do we create meaning? Well, one really quick example before I wrap up today of how we create meaning through the use of ICT. If you could imagine yourself in a modern history class, and I'm the teacher, and I'm trying to explain to you the effects of war on soldiers and people back at home. I'm trying to get you to reflect on what it would be like to be in the war, and somehow create some sort of meaning personally for you, some relevance for you as a student, and by bringing this war to life. Now, if I'm here sharing stories about it, and you're reading on a bit of paper, or I'm drawing diagrams to get you to understand the brutality of war and what it was actually like for people, I wonder how you would go learning. It would be pretty hard, I'd imagine, if I'm drawing diagrams or reading or just looking at pictures, or I'm sending pictures around. Yeah, you could kind of get your head around it, but you may not get a full scope of what war was really like. As a student, you may walk out of the classroom going, yeah, not really sure what the effect of war would be. I mean, didn't seem that bad, did it? However, if I try to create meaning through the war using a video clip, if I went away and found some great clips of World War I at the time, found what was appropriate, compiled the video together that was quite powerful, even with words coming up over the video. Maybe I just found one presented well on Vimeo or something, and I started my lesson that way. I think I could probably capture the audience's attention, and through that, I think that through something visual, I certainly am able to gain students' attention. And I think they can get a grasp and a hold of actually what it was like to be in the war back in that time. And through gaining their attention and putting themselves in the moment, I think they can walk out of the classroom going, yeah, actually, the brutality of war is full on. This is something I really do need to think about. And how did that affect those people? How did it affect my grandparents? Who knows what sort of questions will roll around in people's minds as they leave. So ICT is imperative to I guess young people, students moving forward in their learning, in their thinking, in their growing. And I think it is an incredible and powerful tool that we can use in the classroom if we use it effectively and use it well. So to summarise, ICT, the implementation of this in the classroom certainly plays a large role, a leading role in gaining students' attention, in arousing and motivating students, and in creating meaning. Thank you very much for having me.